Welcome to a place where hearts unwind, infinite threads that gently bind, love and compassion in every line. Together we rise through space and time.
Welcome back to Infinite Threads. I'm your host, Bob. There are moments, sometimes brief, sometimes lingering, when a question rises softly inside us. Not loudly, not dramatically, just a quiet wondering. Why am I still here? Does what I do really matter? Am I making any differences at all? These questions don't always come from despair. Often they come from fatigue, from having carried things for a long time, from showing up again and again without obvious results, from living in a world that moves quickly past the very things that take the most heart. And when that weariness settles in, it can feel as though your presence has faded into the background, like you're still breathing, still moving, still trying, but no longer certain that any of it counts. If you've ever felt like that, or felt that way, let me say this gently and clearly. You are still here for a reason. Not a grand cinematic reason that needs to be announced. Not a purpose that requires constant productivity or proof. A quieter reason. A human reason. Sometimes the reason you are still here is simply that your presence changes the emotional temperature of a room. Sometimes it's because the way you listen makes people feel less alone, because the way you respond steadies someone who is unraveling, because the way you love, imperfect as it may feel, keeps something fragile from breaking. You may never see these effects clearly. Most of what matters doesn't leave receipts. We tend to measure value by outcomes that we can point to, achievements that we can summarize, or moments that are easy to explain. But much of the real work of being alive happens beneath the surface, in tone, in timing, in restraint, and in presence. You are still here because there is something in you that the world still needs. Not necessarily something flashy, but something true. And truth doesn't always shout. Often it waits. It waits in the quiet moments when you choose not to withdraw, when you stay kind even though it would be easier to go numb, when you keep your heart open just enough to remain reachable. Those choices matter more than you know, guys. There may be days when you feel replaceable, interchangeable, like if you stepped away, the world would simply keep moving without noticing. But the world isn't one single thing. It's made of countless small overlapping moments. And in some of those moments, moments that you may never witness again, you were essential. Your words landed when someone needed them. Your patience slowed a spiral. Your presence gave someone permission to keep going, even if they never told you, even if they didn't realize it themselves. Being still here doesn't mean you have everything figured out. It doesn't mean you always feel hopeful. And it doesn't mean you wake up every day energized by purpose. It means you're still choosing to remain, still choosing to engage with life instead of withdrawing completely, still choosing to feel instead of shutting down, and still choosing to love in small, survivable ways. That choice alone carries meaning. There is a particular kind of courage in continuing quietly, in not making a spectacle of your endurance, in not demanding recognition for your persistence, and in simply showing up as yourself, even when you feel ordinary or unseen. You don't have to justify your existence by being extraordinary. You don't have to earn your place by constantly producing something of value. You are already valuable by virtue of being present, responsive, and human. And if you're in a season where you feel stalled, uncertain, or tired of trying to understand the bigger picture, let this be enough for now. You are here, you are breathing, and you are still capable of love. That's not nothing, guys. That is the foundation of everything. Sometimes the reason you are still here is not to change the world, but to keep the thread intact, to prevent something gentle from disappearing, to model a way of being that refuses to harden, and quietly remind others, simply by existing, that compassion is still possible. And maybe one day you'll look back and see how many lives brushed against yours and were subtly altered by your presence. Or maybe you won't. Either way, the impact was real. So if you find yourself questioning your place, if you wonder whether your life still has meaning, if the days feel repetitive and the answers elusive, let this settle in. Be ready. You are still here for a reason. Not because you've done everything right and not because you've finished some grand task, but because love is still moving through you. And as long as that's true, your presence matters. And it's always true, guys. More than you know. I love you guys very, very much. And you know what I need you to do, right? Go out there and pass that on, all right? Later, Gators. Bye-bye.